So originally I was going to make a video about strangers trying to interact with me, but I can now only recall two notable instances, so I'm not doing that. I don't talk to them often. But what does happen to me often is getting injured, so I guess I can talk about that. My most noticeable scar also happens to be my oldest. I was like maybe 2 or 3 at the time. I couldn't even remember things at the time. We were visiting another family who it was doesn't really matter that much, and for some reason I was just running around their house. I get to the kitchen and I slip, hitting my head on their table really badly. That's the origin of that little scar next to my right eyebrow. That's literally the first story. That's all I can remember from the things people have told me about it. Okay, so in this one I'm like 5 or 6, but I'm pretty sure I was 5. I'm once again running around, but this time it's in our own home, and for some reason I was shirtless. In this old home, our kitchen was T-shaped, and the dishwasher would then pretty much block the way through to the entrance/exit whenever it was opened. So, as I was aimlessly running about, I somehow didn't think to stop at the dishwasher to maybe try to step over or around it. No, let's go full speed, straight at it. Obviously, I trip and get a fork straight to the chest. Luckily, there was some fortunate positioning and it only got my nipple. But did I also mention that there was a knife aimed straight at where my heart would be? Thankfully, like any sane human being would do when their dishwasher requires a basket for the cutlery, my mom placed it upside down, so I was only hit by the handle. And I know there's a bunch of stuff blocking the heart, but still. Now we'll skip over to the age of 7. We're in Ferinas. I'm referring to a park in my city with my cousin's family. So my siblings, cousins, and I decide to play hide and seek. My little cousin and I decide to go together and hide inside one of those large bushes. The little kids had gone through it enough times to just make it possible for any other kid to pass through it with ease, making it a lovely hiding spot. But here's the problem. I'm tall. I always have to stand in the back of group photos kinda tall. I may not have hit my growth spurt at the time, but I'd also like to preface that the kids who passed through here were way smaller than me because they were way younger. My cousin peeks through the bushes and sees my brother and goes, "I think he's coming this way, back up a little." So I back up. I back right into a sharp branch that poked through my t-shirt and cut a wound along my shoulder blade. Kinda like when you get a cup or a glass and use it to draw perfect circles. Yeah, like that. One time when I was like 9, we were playing this game called Cub at school. You pretty much have sticks and you toss them at wooden figures that represent different classes of people. The biggest and heaviest being the king, obviously, because it's the king. But at some point, I got impatient and decided it would be a fun idea to just poke one of my opponents for fun with my stick whilst waiting for my turn. I didn't think much of it. The game finishes, and as I walk away, that same opponent picks up the king and slams it into my neck. He also got suspended, and I'm pretty sure I got to go home. The next day, I wake up with a little bit of a pain in my neck, get out of my room, and my siblings just go, "What happened to your eye? Why is it bleeding?" I respond with, "What are you guys talking about?" and head to the mirror. Wow, would you look at that? A free trip to the hospital. I was completely fine, by the way. This last one is one my siblings might vividly remember. At the time, I was 10 and summer break had just started. Our parents were away working, and I was tasked with sorting the dishes, which doesn't really go well with a brain that's young, just woke up, and didn't really get a good night's sleep. Our big kitchen knives were stored on these sort of lids that covered the glasses, but you could still get the glasses from the side. Now, being stupid and tired, I didn't think of the knives at all and just took care of the glasses. So one time when I went to pick up a glass, I accidentally knocked the lid up, sending a knife flying down on my foot. So I take care of the knife and don't really think much of it. But then I look down on a foot because I felt a little bit of a chill on it. And would you look at that? It's bleeding. It's bleeding a lot. I casually stumble towards my brother and calmly go, "Hey, I think we have a little bit of a problem." So now he's frantically searching the apartment for band-aids, but to no real avail. He finds these band-aids, which weren't really made for wounds, but it's the best we've got. So now we're stood there and he's just panicking mountains of them onto my foot. Meanwhile, I'm just stood there thinking, man, I could have been done with the dishes by now. Okay, I just wanted to re-record my end card because the original I recorded was not good in my opinion after looking back. If the sound sounds different, it's because now I actually have a headset, which I didn't have when I recorded the original video. There's more injury stories coming, it's just I can't let this take 5 years to come out, and I think my program would even crash with how big the video file would be. Even, yeah, 5 minutes still. Goodbye.